great win for our program and team. In the past, there were a lot of times we were disappointed sitting here at this podium talking to you guys. By any stretch of the imagination, it wasn't pretty. But we did whatever it took to win the game. We had a couple of breakdowns in the first half. We changed some stuff at halftime and had a much better effort, especially on the defensive end of the floor, against a really good UT Arlington team that's, barring any unforeseen things, they're going to make the tournament. They're going to probably win their league. They got two of the best players in their league, and Neil and Hervey can play anywhere in the country. We talked to you guys about that on yesterday, talked to our team about it. Now they understood, especially after the first 10 minutes of the game or first 5 minutes of the game, how serious we were about this scouting report, because they're a really good basketball team. But these two young guys had an amazing game for us in different times, and we're just awfully proud of our team. So we'll let you talk to those guys because I know they have a couple of things to say.
Collin, can you take us through the last possession? You know, you guarding Eric Neal, and what was the challenge in guarding him all night, even the senior point guard like that?
I was ready for the challenge. I felt like in defense we go over a whole lot of, in practice we go over a whole lot of defensive plays. So I feel like Coach called it the alley, and if you turn them more than about 4 or 5 times, then that's a good possession. And I turned him a few times, and I got him to shoot a tough shot.
2 questions for Collin. Those last several series on offense, driving to the hole, drawing the fouls. I know you didn't get the and-one that you wanted, but just talk about the mindset going to get those fouls at that point.
Coach, he put me in a great position to have the floor open and allow me to attack their point guard as well as the big. And if he came up, drop it down. He just gave me the floor and told me to operate.
And then given everything you've gone through, you know, personally and stuff at the beginning of the year, you've had 3 straight career games basically. What's your motivation like at this point early in the season?
Since I'm out there, I might as well do something while I'm out there. So every time I step on the court, I have to give my all.
Donta, you got off to a quick start in both the first half and then in the second half getting the first buckets for the team. What was so important about you getting the team going there and being able to cut into the lead, especially in that second half start?
Just coming in, giving us a spark. Like Coach be saying, one-on-one in the post dominated, so it's in my head every time I get one-on-one. So I'm looking to take him to the hole, get a bucket.
Collin, it looks like you're really having a lot of fun out there when you're playing. What's it like? What's going through your mind when you're playing these games and you get pretty hyped up with the crowd?
I feel like when we're having fun, we're at our best. Like in practice, if we're having fun, we're going to have a great practice. So it just translates over to the game.
Coach, I think Herb Jones.
Go to Donta. Ask Donta a question.
I think that Herb Jones took 4 charges tonight. How big was that as you guys were trying to get momentum?
That's something that makes our defense strong on the inside. That's something we look at every day at practice, taking charges. It makes, like I said, it makes our defense strong. But with Herb taking 4 charges in one game, that's big. That gave us a lot of energy, great defensive possession.
Yeah. 2 more questions for the players. Start here on the right now. Donta, I think several times you were matched up against Hervey. You know, I guess what was the challenge early on when he was hitting from outside, and just when you have a guy like that big that can shoot and spread the floor?
It was a tough challenge, but it's part of a fight. It's part of basketball, so I felt like I had to get up on him in defense because he's a great offensive player. He can score the ball, so I felt like every possession was a big defense possession.
Any other questions? Got time for one more for the players?
That's good. That's good.
He got one. He got one back there.
It had to be Tony.
Yeah.
Collin, do you feel that you thrive on high-pressure situations like that last drive or taking those last-minute shots? And what's your mindset on those kind of plays?
I feel like when the light's on, I got to play. I got to show up. And I feel like everybody on our team was showing up, and they came in, whether the people started or came off the bench. Avery, he came out with a spark. Riley came out with a spark. Herb, man, I feel like with them 3 guys right there, we'll win any game as long as they play defense and give us a whole lot on the offensive side.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Tell your families hello. Tell your families hello. All right? Go ahead, buddy. All right.
All right, go ahead and take a question for Coach at this time. Let's start with Mark.
Just wanted to ask you about Herbert Jones and his activity level on both ends of the floor. Not a huge stat sheet game, but 4 charges and doing a little bit of everything.
Not a huge stat sheet game. I put on my glasses. 9 rebounds, 7 points, 3 assists, 4 charges, and 4 steals in 34 minutes for somebody that came to our campus 178 pounds. And now he's 200 pounds taking charges and guarding multiple guys on the floor, diving on the floor, made a big 3 for us in the stretch in the game. The stats are blowing me away. So I'm proud of Herb. He's like all of our guys. He has the right DNA. Walter and Van's done a great job with him. In the way they've trained him, you can coach him hard, and there's no surrender. So proud of him. And that's not just an exaggeration because we won the game.
Avery, can you just talk about the confidence you have in Collin to put him in that situation when he's got the ball with 2 minutes to go, and you know he can, if he's not going to put the shot up, he's going to draw a foul, and then even in that possession defense, he's not known necessarily to be the greatest defensive player on the team.
Well, we thought he was an underrated defender when we recruited him. We thought he had quick feet, quick hands, great positioning, accepts the challenge. You know, it's pretty interesting if you can get your hands on a video when he and AJ and Dejon and Herb and, you know, Braxton when he was healthy. When those guys are playing one-on-one full court in practice, it's pretty amazing to see how quick all of those guys are and how competitive they are. I'm just as excited. I know Mark is going to like his stats because his stats are glaring probably at 29 points, but I like 1 turnover.
Avery, they obviously started off really hot offensively. Was it more, you mentioned guys maybe weren't buying into the scouting report. Was it more, did you guys change anything schematically, or was there just more of a buy-in from the guys?
That's a situation where the coach, after he reviews the video and we look at it, likes 1 pick and roll defense, but the team didn't buy in enough. So we couldn't get our rotations. We couldn't get the Hervey. We changed our coverage at halftime. We changed our coverage. We changed the lineup that started that game, the second half, because they put us in a bind. Went with a little bit more of a quicker lineup, and it seemed to pay dividends for us. And then we had a stretch there where we thought we were going to get away from them. And whatever lineup we had, Neal makes a 25-foot shot this far from the sideline by his bench, a horse shot. And they had a couple of shots that went their way, but give them credit. That's a really good team, guys.
I'm not going to ask you to comment on the stats, but Avery Jr. Had some big shots in the stretch there. What was that like?
He did. I must admit that myself. You know, he helped us in the Memphis game. He made 2 big shots. He got shot happy on the 3rd one. But I thought his minutes were huge. I mean, he gave us the lead, great pass, but in his energy on defense helped us. And that gave us a chance to rest Collin doing that stretch for about 3 minutes or 4 minutes, which kind of refueled him and re-energized him so that we would have him going down the stretch to help seal the game for us.
I was just wondering what you thought of your team's performance, being down 12 and then coming back. What does that say about this team that they kind of have that fight in them?
They were shocked because I didn't get animated in 1 timeout tonight. Normally, at least 2 or 3, I may get really animated, intense voice to a fever pitch, okay? Tonight, never raised my voice because the look in their eyes, they looked like they were focused. We just were struggling with some coverages, and I think they didn't understand how good Texas Arlington was. But I liked the focus. We didn't complain. Unfortunately, we did get a double technical, which we got to stay away from. But I saw a team that was just ready to fight for 40 minutes. And for a team that was playing 3 freshmen at a time a lot tonight, that was a step in the right direction.
I know we won't get to talk to you before you guys travel to Brooklyn, so how do you hope that this second half performance carries over to that, and what are you expecting to face in teams like BYU and Minnesota?
A lot of our players have never gone through detailed scouting reports like this. They don't know a lot of the players that they're playing against. So we just got to do a better job of paying more attention to detail. And whatever we talk about tomorrow against about BYU, you can take it to the bank. It's the truth. And we're just trying to get them to trust us a little bit more with our scouting reports, because we know what's around the corner with all of the teams that we're playing against. And I think our guys will get it. But at the same time, you know, we got stagnant a little bit in their zone. We finally just started running some of our man-to-man stuff. We were trying to run some zone stuff, got stagnant on defense. So we just got to do a better job. Bodies moving, ball moving. So whether it's BYU or Minnesota, we can't get stuck as much as we did on offense, and we just have to do a better job of executing on defense for the entire possession.
Two more questions. Start here on the left.
Coach, Riley Norris comes back in the game. He has 15 minutes in this game. So being a game-time decision, how important was it to have Riley Norris back in that lineup in this game?
Very important. I don't know if we could have won it without him, because his minutes were critical for us. And when I talked to you guys about him being a game-time decision, it was basically all about him recovering from such a hard practice on yesterday. And he came in the shoot around. He said, "Coach, I feel good." I said, "No, you know, let's wait until Brooklyn." He said, "Coach, I feel really good." And Riley's been here with me since I've been here for day one. So I trusted him. I trusted Clark. And fortunately, he gave us some quality minutes.
You mentioned earlier in this season, you told Collin that you don't need 30 or 40 points a game. Scored 29 tonight. You needed every one of them. What did you tell him during some of those moments in the first half where he seemed to carry y'all? I think he had 7 points out of a 9-2 run to close out the half.
Yeah, just carry us. Be yourself. Don't play on your heels. If you see something, take advantage of the defense. You see a crack in the defense, attack. If you want to shoot your step back three, shoot it. We believe in Petty. He missed a couple of shots tonight, unlike the last game. Dejon's going to shoot better from the free throw line. We believe in all of our guys. We don't feel we have one weak link on our roster this year.
These were the type of games last year that you probably weren't going to come out, you know, and you talked about in the offseason, the late season, you needed alphas, you need guys that would take it. How much of this freshman class, Herb, you know, on the defensive end with some of those charges, taking some of those, and then Collin obviously doing, how much are they kind of accepting of those roles when you need them in the crunch time?
Well, think about games like Dayton last year. You know, we're in situations similar to this. We don't come out 1 point ahead. Our goal is to finish with 1 point more than our opponent. However, whether it's pretty or ugly, right? And but at the same time, I've been saying this all year, guys. Freshmen and returning players, that combination. Freshmen, yes, they're talented, but our returning players like Dejon and AJ Jr. and Braxton when he comes back, Riley, Donta Hall, those guys have played in some big games for us. So it's not about, you know, the freshmen. Everybody's got to do their job. Whatever your responsibility is on a particular play, just execute it and bring the right energy, tenacity, mental toughness, unselfishness. Unselfishness shows up in a pass, taking a charge, toughness, dirty rebounds, knowing the scouting report. So we have a long ways to go, and with a lot of guys who haven't played a lot of college basketball. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, okay? Thanks.